We had the PowerPoint. Well, you had the PowerPoint, therefore we would have the PowerPoint a few days ago.
Library Authority Board. Today's date is Thursday, August 24, 2023. It's 3 p.m. and this meeting is hereby called to order. And at this time, I'll ask the clerk if he will please call the roll and establish quorum and read the public message.
All right. Sean Laloe, Karina Talamontes.
Here.
Katie Valenzuela. Katie Maple,
Here.
Mai Vang, Phil Cerna,
Here.
Patrick Kennedy, Rich Desmond, Sue Frost,
Here.
Pat Hume, Mary Jane Lopez Taff, Rod Brewer,
Here.
Kevin Stees,
Present.
Sean Farmer, Garrett Gatewood, Lisa Kaplan, Noel Mora, Bina Lefkowitz,
Here.
Saul Hernandez,
Here.
Jennifer Larrett, Portia Middleton,
Here.
Sergio Robles, Linda Budge. All right, I'll read the statement. This meeting of the Sacramento Public Library Authority is cablecast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T UVerse cable systems. This meeting is closed caption and live stream at metro14live.saccounty.net. Today's meeting will be repeated Saturday, August 26th at 4 p.m. on channel 14 and can also be viewed on Metro Cable's 14 YouTube channel. The meeting will also be recorded via Zoom. A DVD copy will be available upon request no later than 2 weeks following today's meeting. The full agenda, including reports, is available on the library's website at www.saclibrary.org. Members of the audience wishing to address the board should complete a speaker identification form located at the back table and give it to the clerk. Members attending via Zoom should raise their hand in the Zoom program. Please speak clearly when addressing the board and state your name for the record. Comments are limited to the 3 minutes so that everyone may be heard.
Thank you. And at this time, I'll ask Director Brewer, would you mind leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Right hand over your heart, ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God.
Thank you. And item number 2 is public comment on matters not on the agenda. I wonder if we have, I don't see anyone in the audience except for Johnny and no one on the phone. Oh, okay, no public comments. And so we'll move on to item number 3, presentations. And our illustrious library director, I'm assuming Peter Coyle is going to present. We'll begin with Friends of the Sacramento Public Library.
Yes, and after that, Madam Chair, the electric bookmobile, Kathy and Todd will present that.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. Are the friends on the video?
Hi, I am on the video. I'm the secretary of the Friends.
Great. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm Anita Scurry, and I wanted to say that the Friends are very interested in continuing their partnership with the library and hope that we can help you with your endeavors. We have encouraged our members to complete your community survey, so maybe that will give you a little bit better, a few more people at least to participate in your survey. And we continue to work closely with library staff on the Book First and summer reading projects. And we thank you for working with us.
Thank you for all that you do at the Friends of the Library. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we have an update on the electric bookmobile launch.
Good afternoon. My name is Kathy Crosswade. I'm a Deputy Director for the Sacramento Public Library overseeing public services, and I'm here to talk to you today about mobile services. In April of 2021, library staff gave a presentation to the Authority Board, which covered the evolution of Sacramento Public Library's mobile service. At that time, over 2 years ago, staff anticipated receiving new vehicles soon, hoping that the pandemic's impact would subside. Unfortunately, the delays continued. Now, 3 years after receiving the grants, it is with great pleasure and quite a bit of relief that staff can now announce that Sacramento Public Library's mobile service department has officially gone green with 2 new all-electric vehicles. Since 1948, the mobile services team has been dedicated to providing library service to those people who did not have easy access to our physical locations. This slide shows the vehicle history of the service. In 1948, we had a vehicle called the Traveling Library, and it was basically a war surplus trailer chassis that cost $5,000. Then in the 1950s, we bought an actual bookmobile that cost around $17,000 and manufactured by the Gerstenlager Bookmobile Company. In the 1960s, we purchased 2 trailers that were pulled by large trucks, and they were called the Bookmobile, very original, and the Mobile Library, another original choice in naming. And these cost $7,000 each. In the 1970s, we upped our game to include the Wanderer and the Pioneer, which are the precursor to what more modern bookmobiles look like today. And then in 1998, we purchased two bookmobiles to replace those, called the Wanderer and the Wonder Wagon. And these are diesel wagons, and they cost $228,000 each. We literally just parked those last month in anticipation of the new vehicles. Today, after 75 years and 5 iterations of vehicles, an increased understanding of community needs, and quite a bit of grant writing, SPL has launched its new electric fleet. I want to sincerely thank our funding partners, the California State Library, and Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District. I also want to acknowledge the ongoing support offered by the Library Authority Board members who encourage staff to pursue these types of innovative projects. I'm now going to hand it over to Todd Deck, our Community Engagement Manager, who oversees the Mobile Services Department.
Thanks, Kathy. My name is Todd Deck. I'm the Community Engagement Manager. And one of my duties is overseeing mobile services. And I thought I would share with you a video that gives you a little bit of a better overview of what the electric bookmobiles are all about. And now let's see if I can hit play. Oh, it went rogue. Oh, okay. Oh, I got it. Okay.
So we've had this vehicle on the road for about 2 months now, going to senior sites, residential centers, retirement communities, mobile home parks, assisted living facilities. The last vehicles we had were diesel vehicles. We actually got them in 1998, so they were pretty old. Bookmobiles usually have an average lifespan of 10 to 15 years. We had to use a generator, which used diesel fuel, and the generator itself was very loud and emitted a very stinky smell. The upgrades that the vehicle has are that we're able to power all of our activities and programming off of our batteries and not use any fossil fuels. So our LED lights, air conditioning, which we didn't have before. We have a TV monitor on the outside that we're going to use for training and workshops. All of that is being powered by the battery. So we really try to focus on serving library deserts. So whether it's from financial restraints or physical mobility restraints, we try to target folks who would otherwise have a difficult time getting to a library branch. We try to fill that gap in service. So it really makes a difference in our patrons' lives that we're able to bring these books right to their front door. During the pandemic, so March 2020, the library closed and the bookmobiles were pulled off the road as well. And we stayed in contact with some of our older adult patrons because the bookmobile visit is often their only social interaction for the month.
We've been so blessed to have the bookmobile come here once a month. Many people here don't have cars, transportation, and Neil is wonderful. He knows our likes and dislikes after a while.
There's certain people that come out to the library truck every month. So we look forward to seeing them, especially if we haven't seen them in a week or so. Also, if they're sick or something, they can ask one of us to get their library books.
Absolutely thrilled that they came during COVID because there was nothing else to do, you know, and this is retirement. We all just read.
The bookmobile team was the first in the library system to be serving patrons again. We were back out on the road in July 2020. Our services did look different. The city wanted to distribute hotspots to bridge the digital divide, and mobile services was front and center with distributing those hotspots to the community. In addition, we also partnered with other organizations to promote the census. And we did accept ballots on the road during the height of the pandemic as well. Serving our senior patrons becomes such a personalized customer service interaction, and it actually builds a really strong relationship. And patrons are so appreciative, especially our older adult patrons, about how much time we take to get to know them, give them excellent personalized customer service, and give them that social interaction that they might otherwise be missing. This is an opportunity for them to come out and see other residents at their living facility and to talk to library staff. Mobile Services does a great job filling those library gaps those out in the community to folks that can't otherwise get to a library building.
All right, well, that gives you an overview of the electric bookmobiles. Yesterday is a photograph of the mobile services team, except for one member, at the Pat O'Brien Community Center. It's a group of 4 people that are deeply committed to providing services to communities that wouldn't have access to our resources. I think the group's super strength is they are problem solvers. We had learned about gaps in service in the Vineyard community, and by working with the Pat O'Brien Community Center, we were able to identify a stop. And we were there throughout the summer during peak time, pool swimming lesson drop off, and it wound up being our most popular stop this summer. So that ability to have a problem and a solution is really so important and gratifying. I don't know if you all know this, but our director, to quote him, his first job was actually working in a bookmobile. And he often says it was the best library job. And anytime you're on a bookmobile, you will see that that is true. So sorry to put you on the spot, but the bookmobile in 2022, by the numbers, I think the numbers really speak for themselves as far as miles driven, books checked out, card holders served. But I did want to bring it to life in a little bit of a different way, which is to quote the lady in the video that says, "We love to read." They absolutely do. And they love to read Catherine Coulter's Vortex, an FBI thriller. It was the top book for mobile services for adults. And they also love to read the Babysitters Club books by Raina Telgemeier. So that was the most popular book for kiddos. And then for teens, they love the One of Us is Lying series by Karen McManus. None of these books would have been accessible to these communities if the bookmobiles were not here. So all of that enjoyment that comes from reading would not have existed. So let's move on to I've talked with you before a little bit about Sacramento Public Library and our commitment to sustainability. I've shared with you our pencils made from recycled denim and our mugs made from wheat. But really, this intention wouldn't be here if we hadn't started first with electric bookmobiles. So the impact that we're going to have on the planet by going electric represents we will avoid 304 barrels of oil, over 14,000 pounds of coal burned. We will, let's see here, avoid the impact of 5,700 trash bags and just under 5,000 incandescent lamps switched to LEDs by going electric. And then the last one, carbon emissions. So by going electric, it represents 26 homes of electricity for 1 year and over 16 million smartphones. So it really is going to have an impact on the planet and greater Sacramento. This photo is to close a photo of the bookmobile kind of out in the wild. And that's a photo at an outreach event at Fremont Park this past July. And just having the chance to talk to people about bookmobiles and literacy in the libraries is just a real joy. Hearing them come on the bookmobile and find a book that they love to read is just so satisfying. I do want to give a special shout out to Kathy Crosswaite, who really, her vision is what kept this project going, and Heather Harrison, our mobile services supervisor. We're one of the first libraries to go all electric, and people sometimes forget how when you're the first, that can be a lonely place to be because you don't have other people to ask. And I think that by doing this, we're going to make it a little less lonely for other libraries that want to do this because we will answer their questions. So if anybody would like to learn more, visit the library's website, sacramentolibrary.org, and click on mobile services. We have our whole maps of all of our service areas, and we also are taking it out to a variety of outreach events. So we're here for you guys. Do you have any questions for me?
It looks, thank you, Todd.
Oh, sure.
It looks like we do have a couple of directors who are in the queue. We'll start with Director Maple.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you for all of your work on this. This is really exciting. I also serve on the Air Quality Management District. So we actually were talking about this morning. So it's nice to have it come full circle in a day. And I think this is really important. This is one piece of the pie also in our climate goals, right? So this is not just making sure that we're surveying these communities. It's also making sure that we're not polluting these communities in the process. When I heard that generator, I was like, oh.
And this loud generator that didn't have air conditioning and was just not a joy-filled experience.
Yeah.
So.
And I really appreciate the historical context in the presentation as well, because I hadn't seen those pictures and I was like pretty impressed that it's been going on so long and we're just updating it for our future. So again, thank you for your work.
Great, thank you. Director Cerna.
Thank you. So congratulations again to you and to us, and thank you, Kathy and Todd and everyone that's been instrumental in electrifying our mobile access to our constituents. I do have a question about the two now shuttered former bookmobiles. What is the intention with regards to the disposition of those vehicles?
Yeah, both of those, one belonged to the city of Sacramento, and that's returned to the city. It's gone to their corp yard, and the other has been put up for sale. So both vehicles were no longer, did not meet your resources board standards.
Right.
And so they're being the process of being disposed.
The one that's up for sale, any bites yet?
Sorry. I will have to check on that. Honestly, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, part of our job as elected people oftentimes is to connect the dots for agency folks who wouldn't otherwise their agencies or other departments. So last week I participated in a press conference with Sacramento County Probation and the State Probation Association. We the county were just awarded, I think it's $1.3 million. It's a $1.3 million state grant to provide mobile patient services. So going out to especially the unhoused Sacramento County probationer population to do things like helping them clear warrants and actually providing the services that our probation officers would otherwise provide in the course of their announced and unannounced checks on probationers. It's been a wonderful program that's worked very well. Places like Placer County and I think also down in the south part of the state. The intent with the 1.3 million, the way I understand it, is to look at the acquisition of, I believe, a total of 5 vehicles. One or two of which will be larger format vehicles, similar to the size of the wheelbase of the type of bookmobiles we had previous to the electric vehicles. I'm thinking that there may be some value, certainly not in using the diesel propulsion systems from at least the one that's for sale. It's not the cities, but the chassis and the box platform. From what I can glean, it looks like it would be perfect. So I would really encourage someone from our library system to get in contact with Sacramento County Probation and find out if there's any interest, and you might give them share the details of the one vehicle that is for sale. And so I'm hoping that that connection might bear some fruit. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
And that's the interesting part with going electric, where we had a meeting with San Mateo County Libraries, and they have a lot of hills in their area. And so that's something they have to factor in with going electric for their distance. So there's all of these different factors that you never really have to think about. So
I'm actually thinking that maybe the diesel drivetrain might be able to be swapped for natural gas, something a little bit cleaner, not electric, but something cleaner than diesel for their intended needs. Thanks.
Wow, that's great, Director Cerna. We have Bina Lefkowitz.
Great, thank you. That was excellent presentation, good history. And congratulations on going green. I am a really big fan of bringing services out to our more vulnerable communities, so I appreciate the philosophy. I know you have a 3rd van coming on, and I don't know to the extent you've looked at which of our schools, some of our schools are performing incredibly below standards and have 100% low-income students, and I don't know where they're located in terms of access to libraries or your current spots. So I just wanted to put that out there as another cut as you look at programming that last, hopefully not the last mobile van. So thank you.
Thank you, Director Lefkowitz. Director Talamantes.
I love seeing the evolution of the bookmobile. I can't help but think about Batman, but like, you know, like, but public service style. So it's really exciting to see it. I love seeing it at the holiday parade that we do in downtown and how you decorate it. And it's just such a valuable resource, but I just had to make that comparison because I love Marvel and DC comics, and seeing that just really did remind me of this like government edition. So kudos.
The nice part about the collection too is for a kid or a Marvel fan, you know, they visit the bookmobile and there's a good chance that there's probably a Marvel book on the shelf for them. So, which can be hard during summertime. It's a really beautiful collection.
Thank you. I'm going to ask our clerk right now if we have anyone online who's wishes to speak. Okay, I had a couple questions about hotspots, Todd. Are the hotspots something that if you have an underserved community can people apply to receive those connections, or how do you determine where those will be delivered to?
Yeah. Yeah, I can answer that question. So we have added approximately 450 hotspots to our collection that are for general checkout. And so you can place a hold on them via the library catalog. We also do have what's called Lucky Day, where when you come into the library, if there's a hotspot available, you can check it out. And then I do believe that Mobile Services also has a couple that they bring along with them that patrons can check out. So it's part of our larger hotspot checkout program.
And hotspots were our most popular checked out item last year, but I wanted to stick to books because I am a librarian.
Oh,
so-
okay.
But they were like out of everything, the most checked popular item.
Okay, and does the mobile team, do they have shifts? Do they go out every day? Do they go out to every place every day?
Not every
Or-
day. I mean, they have a pretty robust schedule. So they're out, I would say, consistently like Tuesday through Thursdays. And then Saturdays, we have a really aggressive outreach schedule for it. One of our goals as we get the third one is to look at the schedule to ensure that we're maximizing our impact. The stops that we're at are so beloved by the community. Even yesterday, a lady told us that a stop was coming back on her birthday, and it was like really touching because it felt like it was her birthday present. So,
Oh,
and really how we learned about the vineyard was really, from Peter letting us know that that was a need. So as you hear from the community, I mean, we can't promise we'll be everywhere, but we will really try our best.
okay,
So-
that was what I was gonna ask because I guess there's a lot of areas that aren't close to a library where people don't maybe have access to get to the library. So that's good to know. And I also want to say that I was in on that Air Quality Management District meeting, and I think it's safe to say that the entire board is really excited about pursuing even more possible opportunities to grow your fleet. And so I'm excited, and I want to congratulate you and thank you for your persistence. And apparently the grant writing, it took a while. But you overcame. That's awesome. So congratulations and thank you. And I don't see any other directors. Are there any public comments on this? Okay. Well, Kathy and Todd, thank you so much. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
All right, our next item is item number 4, executive team report.
Thank you, Chair Frost. I'm gonna highlight a couple things from our written report. Last Monday, I was really privileged to spend some time with former Library Director Dick Killian, who was the director when the Joint Powers Authority was initiated and building the Central Library. And he was very generous with his time and gave us a lot of background and history and some stories about those two projects. So it was really helpful and nice for him to take the time to do that. So we're really appreciative of the service that he gave to this institution, and really two bedrocks that we are standing on today, which is the Central Library and the JPA. So we really appreciate the time he spent to do that. In addition to the electric bookmobiles, we have rolled out some electric e-trike tricycles at the Colonial Heights Library, and that's also a partnership with the city of Sacramento. And those have been rolled out, and we're really looking forward to the community responding to those. The idea behind this pilot is to allow customers to check these out so they can go to errands and shopping and other things where they don't have a car, or maybe don't need a car to do it, but they can go short distances and do their errands without having to purchase or acquire a car. So really looking forward to seeing how the community responds to that. We also did reopen our maker spaces at 2 of our libraries, and we have some interns that we have acquired through volunteers and teams, and they are working to help people use those maker spaces. And so we're really happy to have that service come back after being something we weren't providing during the pandemic. So we're looking forward to continuing that service in the coming future. We'll say that we also having some, we'll be bringing to the board in the next couple of months, some renewals of agreements between some of our partners, specifically the River Delta School District, and some other ones will be coming forward too, so we can continue service in those areas. And then lastly, we also had a visit from Tracy Hall, who's the executive director of the American Library Association. And she and her colleague visited a number of libraries in California to learn about the literacy programs and efforts. And we were one of the handful of libraries that they chose to visit. So we spent the afternoon talking with them about our efforts to increase literacy in our users, whether it be people who are learning English as a second language, or even those who are just below the literacy level of what we consider to be able to function in society, which is 3rd and 4th grade. And so we're really looking forward to the ALA is fashioning some new grants in the coming years, and they're going to use some of the models and best practices that they've discovered. So really hoping that our efforts will be utilized, because we think they're a really great program. So really happy to be a part of that. And that's the extent of what I like to highlight in my report, but I'm happy to answer any questions from any board members at this time.
I do not see any board members in the queue with questions, but it looks like you've been busy, and appreciate the partnerships with the city and everything. Okay, at this time, do we have any public comment on that item? Okay, next item is information, and I see Johnny Yee in the audience. This is for information. I wonder if anyone had questions regarding the monthly finance report for June 2023 and the quarterly treasurer's report for Q4 June 2023. Questions? Okay, great. Our next item is consent. Item number 6. Thank you. And we'll, are we doing the vote, calling the vote? Or I don't know if we have people online because I can't see them. Okay.
Yes, we do. Read it. All right, Sean Laloe, Karina Talamontes, Katie Valenzuela, Katie Maple,
Aye.
Mai Vang, Phil Cerna,
Aye.
Patrick Kennedy, Rich Desmond, Sue Frost,
Aye.
Pat Hume, Mary Jane Lopez Taff, Rod Brewer,
Aye.
Kevin Spees,
Aye.
Sean Farmer, Garrett Gatewood, Lisa Kaplan,
Aye.
Ina Lefkowitz,
Aye.
Saul Hernandez,
Aye.
Portia Middleton.
Aye.
Motion passes with 10 members present.
Thank you. Okay, our next item is action, which we have no action items. And item number 8 is reports, ideas, questions from the board. And I see none. I see none in the building and none online that I can see. Okay, Director Brewer.
Question of Peter. I had a question of Peter from the last report, from the report that you gave. I saw there was a mention of the Elk Grove Library planning meetings. I was wondering if you could share with me like the dates for when the next ones will occur, because I know they run through September, just to help give extra notice to the public so they could tune into or be plugged into those meetings when they happen.
Yeah, Director Brewer, at this time, I don't think they're public meetings. These are purely planning meetings, so I'm happy to share those dates and times with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw that they were with staff, so I was wondering if there was a public component to it as well.
Yeah, not at this point. This is the internal planning to deal with, things like placement of fire suppression and the mechanics of that, but there will be, I think, additional public meetings in the future that we'll let you know about.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Director Lefkowitz.
Thank you. wanted to just give you guys an update on something the county office is working on that I think is very relevant to the work we're doing. And that is that this year, the county board and our superintendent decided that literacy would be one of our top 3 priorities. And primarily, a lot of that has to do with teaching the new science of reading to teachers in our schools. But I wanted to also share with you, and you're probably aware of this, but just in case, just how dire some of the outcomes are for our young people in terms of literacy. And forgive me if this is old news, but only 45% of our students in our county are reading at state standard level. 35% of those are low-income kids. So only 35% of low-income kids are reading at the state standard. 21% of our foster youth are reading at the state standard, and 15% of our English language learners. If you look at the scores by race and ethnicity, 54% of white kids are reading at the standards, only beat a little bit by Asian students. 26% of our Black students are reading at the standard, and 35% of our Latino students. So in that, from COVID, since 2019, we've had a 4 to 5% loss in achievement. So our scores are 4 to 5% less than they were in 2019. So there's a lot of work to do, as you all know. So I did want to just bring that to you. And just to make a note, you may or may not be aware of this, but on September 28th, the County Office of Ed is supporting the viewing of a film at the Guild Theater called The Right to Read. And it is about trying to bring light to the community about the critical gap we have and how poorly we're doing, not only as Sac County, but as a state and a nation in terms of teaching our children to read. So mostly I just wanted to raise awareness and share that with you all. And I hope we can continue conversations around literacy as a board and how the community as a whole can support all this. And I know you guys are doing so much work. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Director Lefkowitz. Those are disturbing numbers. And I think that's what that's what the library is all about, is promoting literacy. So thank you for bringing that to our attention. Is there a way that where we can go to learn about the right to read?
I'll forward you the information or to
great.
Peter, and
Yeah,
he can get it out.
thank you.
Yeah.
All right. And do we have any other members of the board online who have comments? No comments. All right. Well, with that, this meeting is adjourned at 3:38 p.m. Thank you.